Hi guys. There may be some delay with what's going on right now. Depends on my connection. I'm gonna share right now the link with everyone. It's private. Hold on a second. Let's see what's the delay. Hello. Hey Joyce. Hi Kola. Let's go. I have 1 hour before I go for workout, so we need to squeeze everything in. And okay, I have a lot of good stuff. Let me know. Can you hear the music? Actually, is it like a bearable? Because it's the first configuration I'm doing on the new, on my new place. Let's wait maybe a couple of minutes. I will slowly start answering questions and start doing some trading and commenting on the market in maybe 10 minutes. Before that, I will just try to make sure that everything you can hear me well, and the setup is good. So tell me if you can hear some music and if it's microphone test. One, two, three. You can't hear me, or you can? Tell me what's the quality. A little quiet, no music. Cool. I have some music. I can do that. I just hope it's not gonna be too epic. Sound more loud. That's I can do. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. You can check and tell me. For the music, let me also try to do that. Because I was cleaning my laptop and I think I have removed some music. Not sure. Oh, much better. Perfect. Okay, sound is good. Now we need some music. I have no idea. Okay, let's wait while I'm configuring music. You can start preparing your questions. Too soft. Okay, I can do more. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Okay, with music maybe next time. I will go with music because now I'm afraid I'm gonna download some crappy music and it's not fun. Okay, let's see how many people we have right now. There are 6 people and I think there are more joining soon. What I'm gonna do next, I guess I will start just checking Solana and Ethereum markets, and we'll start commenting on some collections. And pretty much you just go ahead. I will be looking inside of the chat, so you can throw me comments and I will be trying to respond them in real time. So let's go. First of all, let's go on Ethereum. How is it looking? Actually, the floor price is not so useful. Usually I don't recommend looking at this number because it doesn't make much sense. Floor can be very high if supply is low. right? Usually I go and check for 24 hours volume, increase, decrease, and just overall picture. 7 days. Cozy penguins are growing crazy. Nouns are growing crazy. Nouns is a project which is always crazy, but the secondary is not so great because the amount of items is low. So this is number one. What you should look at is the amount of items on the collection. The smaller supply, the less secondary economy is there, because if you have like 5 folks who own 5 items, they can speculate a lot, which is not great. So you want to look at collections which have like a larger supply, or they have a very good utility, because the lower supply, the more difficult it is to get it. Also keep in mind, for example, 888 inner circle, they show like a 1 items, but that's actually not 1 item, it's just 1 copy of 3000 2.6k items or 5k items, I don't know. So that's important. It's kind of a bug in the system. This project, I was seeing it a lot across Twitter, motherfuckers, and I think there are a lot of legit people who buy it. I was not looking too deep inside because, you know, it's kind of, I don't like the art. Probably the community should be good or something, because you can see quite famous folks are buying this thing. What you would want to check next is actually go into their Discord and check their Twitter. That's actually what we can do. Next, I don't see any links, by the way, here, which most likely they don't have Discord. You see, it's unofficial. Probably it's just like one of the projects where people don't create communities. They just expect community to be created by itself, which is not wrong. It depends on the project. We have seen quite successful projects who have chosen to do not create environment community themselves, and they just said we deliver only art, and like just utility will come along, and if you like it, you go buy it. If you don't like, you can go and buy other stuff. We don't care. So this is interesting, but price is like quite high already, not as high as like high tier projects, but still. So when you consider buying something, I always recommend checking your amount of liquidity you hold in your wallet, and compare it to what's your like exit strategy, right? Because like for some people it's a lot, for me it's not a lot, but to make good profit on this, if we consider it as a trading exercise, you need to this price to grow a lot, right? In NFT it's quite casual to see x50, x100. So if you want this to be x50, like it should be floor, you know, 100 if, which is it's possible, but you need to make your own research and trying to understand how what are the chances. Another important thing is to check the liquidity, and I'm going to show you a couple of collections which have high liquidity and low liquidity. For example, Nouns is a project which launch every day 1 noun for 365. It's just basically every day, and this project is quite amazing in terms of they were first who did this like 1 item drop every day. The only problem with that, people are so connected with the idea, and there is so little of assets because they started in August, that there's pretty much no liquidity on this. You know, people don't buy. You see, like number of sales 1, 2, 1. I would say for this project it's not even bad, you know. For last year, this is what was happening. On average, is 1 sale. So when you say that you have a noun and like it's worth 100 ETH, I would not say it's wrong, but it's important how liquid is the asset. So another sign of liquidity is not only how many secondary sales happening, as how many bids are happening. So this item right now has a bid of 82 82 Ethereum, which is quite high. So you can say that the owner of the asset can sell at any time at 82. I don't see that many bids on other items, which basically means that doesn't matter. Oh, yeah, it doesn't matter that it doesn't mean that the entire collection is liquid. Maybe there is one item which is liquid. Examples of good liquidity projects. World of Women. Example. Again, I was not checking last month, but you see the volume of trading is huge, and activity is quite decent. Okay, not so decent as I thought, but like it goes like here and there, back and forth. And you can see you can totally see a lot of buys happening here and there, and people beat. They even beat on my items. Like you're offline, you just keep receiving emails, which is usually below floor, so it's bots who are bidding. But even though it's bots, it means that you can accept and you can return your investments. It's quite legit sign of a project when people bid. VFriends, another example. And usually bots do not bid on projects with bots do not bid with high prices on projects which they don't believe they can resell easily. So on this, like a blue chip NFT, you can see a lot of bids happening here and there. Let's see also liquidity on this collection. VFriends was one of the collection which never had like a huge liquidity, only when Gary V is like popping up on the Twitter and starting to chat around. But if you take a look at the overall picture, it was kind of okay. In general, if you compare it to crypto assets, it's a very different story, like crypto assets, they are fungible, so you can buy any day asset even if you lose it. Here people hold quite long time, and even for the very, very top tier collections, it can take you some time to sell the item, unless there's like a huge super bull market when people just throw their money and buy everything, which is quite often nowadays. It happens every 2-3 weeks in the space. So this is example of very liquid collection as well, right? It's like one of the top tier collections, and like with these crazy prices, you can still see there's more sales happening compared even to collections which have one ETH floor. That's about Ethereum. Anyway, you guys keep going, throw me questions. I'll just try to find something less known, just to give you an example of signs which I would consider as a good deal. Let's go 24 hours and then we'll just walk through. Lux Labs, games. These guys I've heard before. I remember I didn't want to buy Clonex. Important, like a sign of, not sign, but rule of trading is always like you buy when it's a bear market, right? When people lose interest, it's a good time to buy, or just before it's getting to kick off. So the thing about NFTs is that they actually go so high and so fast that you can jump in very early, even if it's secondary kicking off. It depends on how hyped is the project. It can be hype up until 1 week, and then you can get in on the first or second day and then exit on the 5th day and then still hold part of the assets, which is quite a good strategy. Okay, I will just start reading some comments. Agents, yeah, agents I like. I was not following recently, but it's good. Yeah, the way I do it, I open usually few. I usually open few marketplaces, which is Lux Rare and OpenSea, and then I just check volume of trading and try to understand what's happening. If there are some collections which I already know I like, I just wait for the floor price to drop and then I scoop. For example, one of the things I was looking recently is Solana Business Monkeys, and their price is quite high, but I think there was some bad tweeting recently, so like the floors keep dipping right now. The floor was 160 4 days ago, and now like this morning it was 140, but now it's 137. So people keep dropping their assets, and I like this collection I'm watching, so probably at some point I'm gonna acquire some of these, but this is kind of expensive. One of the most valuable assets on Solana chain with good distribution. I kind of like this project. Also, you can study new, But keep in mind that it takes time to figure out what you like and study community. Of course, you can always FOMO in and just like fear of missing out and just grab whatever you like. I recently did a lot of that, but for that you need to understand how much you are willing to spend on this random stuff. I usually try to keep watching for collection for some time and then wait a good moment to buy, unless it's super cheap. Frankly speaking, I don't buy that much right now on Ethereum because of crazy gas fees. Oh, that's interesting. Junior Slotty. Because I have the original collection of these Slotty machines. Okay, OpenSea is being OpenSea, not loading. This is kind of casual, you know. That's why we have looks rare as well. Floor price may vary from one marketplace to another, which is also important to keep in mind. If you just focus on one, you may miss that there is actually cheaper on the another one. And I know that there is a lot of marketing happening to transition people from OpenSea to looks rare, for example. Another point when you trade, how much is crazy gas fees? Gas fees right now on average is around, oh, you can't see my extensions, but you can go and check on gas now. Gas now or Etherscan. Right now average gas fee is $100. Okay, this is not true. Simply it's in some dummy transactions. Average price of transactions, the lowest I saw recently was $50. It was the lowest one, usually from 50 to $100, and people still buy. So whenever you buy, you need also to consider like every transaction will cost you at least $100. If you don't like take it into account, you may buy item and actually lose more on gas fees when you connect your wallet and you send the transaction to marketplace. And then when you withdraw your item, you will also spend some money. And then marketplace will also take its own fee, right? So if you stack all of this, you may realize that actually even if you flip in an item and it costs 1 Ethereum and you will sell it for 1.2 Ethereum, and then you spend on gas 0.05 or 0.02, and plus there is some transaction fees like 5%. Like you need to understand that there is you need to have a very good like a buffer for return on investment, because there's a lot of things which eat your profit, and many people they just don't pay attention. They just like, oh, this item costs 0.05 Ethereum, I'm gonna buy it, and then he pays 0.02 for gas, and then he sell it for 0.08, and pretty much the profit is zero. And like you spend tons of time just like trying to trade an item and just profit it for $50. Doesn't make any sense, at least for me in my universe. And I know a lot of such traders. They are quite happy just for flipping around very cheap items and like being happy on just creating transactions, not necessarily making much profit. That's why recently I'm kind of like more moving into Solana and trying to check there. I would still say that there's very little of good collections there, so you need to be even more careful. Sol analysis. You need to be even more careful when you do research for Solana NFTs. For some reason I can't find this link. Hold on a second. NFT. Where is the website? Oh, here we go. It's kind of aggregated market update from Solana NFTs. Quite useful tool. Any cool projects which you would hold? I mean, it's not financial advice, you know. I hold a lot of stuff. I think most of stuff I hold is long term and I like it a lot. But I would want to keep this session just for, you know, entertainment purpose, not shilling you anything. I already showed few collections which I kind of like, but again, like I will just review maybe in depth some collections here and there. You need to understand, while I can advise on long-term hold, if you don't pay attention to this long-term hold and there is something bad happening with the collection, you may fail to exit. And like, I know what I pay attention to. And so these long-term holds, they may actually lose their value over one day, even though I believe in them. Because if something happens, like someone of influencers lost credibility who launched this collection, or we found some facts, then it become a problem. And if you just say, oh, Mickey said it's like a long-term hold, so I hold it, and one day something happening, you may lose the momentum and then you will lose a lot of money. So that's why I can give you advice, not financial obviously, but trading advice of hold less assets and try to focus and just study and be involved in these collections rather than just wailing around and like buying too many collections and not staying on top of what's going on. In my reality, I made more money with this kind of approach. Just investing less money into projects, but investing more time researching the projects. That kind of works better for me. So Sol analysis is a market research for Solana NFTs, right? So you can see the floor, supply, and everything, which is super useful. And also show percentage of tokens listed on the marketplace, which is also quite important. You see this Shadow Supercoded DAO, they have majority of their assets staked. So it's like, that's why the tokens listed is low. It's a good sign. It means that people hold it a lot. So the same thing you can check for Ethereum NFTs. Just if you are curious, you can go and see when people are believers, they list less. You can go and filter by now, and there is only 800 items listed from 10,000. While, for example, if we go for Asians, it's a nice collection, but it's quite new. I would guess they have more listed. Asians collection, let's see. Hello, by now. Yeah, you see it's almost 2K listed, and even like with the low floor, it's like means a lot of people, they want to get some profit. They don't believe, they believe this profit is going to be better right now than in 2 months, or they just have their own strategy. The more project give utility, usually the more holders there are, and the less items are listed. Quite important thing, because you can also see that sometimes whales, they do this thing, they scoop the floor and then they list a lot of items, and you may see the floor is high, but from 4,000 items, sometimes supply is 4,000 and 2,000 are listed. It's a very bad sign. Okay, let me read through comments. Yes, transaction fees on Ethereum sometimes 100 to 100 bucks. It's quite crazy. I agree with you, and like I myself was waiting some time to claim some items back in days, because I had some free drops from partners, and I couldn't do this because I didn't want to spend 200 bucks on transaction fees. What else? Solana chain will be super congested. Yes, sometimes there are problems with Solana, but keep in mind it's a beta version of Solana right now. It's still very early. They have like 1.5 years life, while Ethereum is old school chain. So like this is kind of important to take a note. Sol analysis is for checking NFT for Solana and checking what's going on the market. Super useful because Solana has more marketplaces. They have Sol C, they have Solana Art, and they have Magic Eden, and they have Digital Eyes. They have 4 marketplaces, and there is no clear leader there. So it's like it's more difficult to find a single point where you would trade. That's why I like to go to Sol analysis. For Ethereum, I would say OpenSea is 90% of the market. Now people slowly are considering other stuff like Looks Rare, and also a couple more one-to-one projects, one-to-one art marketplaces like Knowing Origin. Okay, Azuki, some other things to review. Yeah, with the Asians, the only problem I see is that they create a lot of deflationary supply, inflationary supply. They kind of create kind of side collections here and there, and I think it's a wrong tactic. In my understanding, I still believe this collection maybe will be successful, but I would not do so many crazy drops like they do. It's kind of weird. I think there was example which I was showing again, like not because I hold it, I'm like showing you both sides. I like this project, but they created set girls, they created also set cats, and they created also set skeletons, and then in total it becomes like a very big supply, while demand is not huge. Demand is there, but not huge. You see, it's 2.3k owners of 7k items. So Bored Ape Yacht Club created a higher supply when they already could not keep up with the people who wanted to buy. So they created this mutant club. Okay, OpenSea today is really not great. So now the total supply of Bored Ape Yacht Club is 30,000, but the amount of holders is unbelievable, you know, and still they are able to keep such high prices right now with the crazy liquidity. Is that what I built? Private pages? Sorry, Joyce, I didn't get your question about designed market. Nansen is a cool project, I think. I even had license before, but I don't do like a full-time trading. That's why I don't use it that much. For me right now, it's not my priority, but you can definitely use it. I think if you're like full-time, you're super into that, is you can do a lot of analytics here. Also, one thing I would recommend is called Dune Analytics. It's like open source. You can create your dashboard and analyze marketplaces. You can also follow specific projects and see how the amount of holders were keeping up with the timeline. Here is an example. You can build these beautiful charts and track floor, amount of transactions. Of course, some marketplaces provide this value, but this is aggregated from smart contracts, so this is better quality data. And you can actually fork this and create your own chart if you feel like you need some more data. This is more advanced tools, but it's very important to keep track of that, especially if you deal with more like with big money. Many people still, it's like a Wild West. They still do like old school trading with just like, oh, the floor is growing, I'm gonna buy it. It's kind of cool, but it's not cool, you know? It's like at some point you will lose money. So this is highly recommended. I'm gonna share it in the chat. Actually, I'm gonna share some links in the chat. Obviously, I'm not gonna share links for scams, and always check the link, because maybe someone will come and put bad links. So see, Magic Eden digitalize, you can find all of that, not a big deal. What else from cool tools I can recommend? I used to use CryptoSlam back in days. Now I don't use it. Rarity tool also is how to find the rarity of specific items. Also depends. Right now I'm not so often here, but you can do quite interesting things here, because the rarity which is defined by people of creators of collections is not always exactly the rarity how people, it's not representing the real value of the asset. Sometimes people come up with their own valuation of collections. So what you can do, you can go and check per trades, explore trades, click and choose collection, and then you can see the floor price for each trade. And this is quite interesting because let me check. You can go by for example, for Bored Ape Yacht Club, and clearly Golden Apes, the floor is 690 ETH, and it's absolutely insane. And I mean, if you go deeper into this collection, you will realize that actually people value more like skin in Bored Ape Yacht Club. In some collections it can be something different. Background doesn't make much value in this collection specifically, but eyes also make some difference. People don't like crazy eyes. They don't like eyes which are a bit messed up. As you can see, Usually those which are like a crazy eyes and like messed up eyes, they're not good. And the same thing comes with mouse. I think the more cleaner ape, the more people like it. Yeah, this diamond is kind of expensive. But now there's very little of items are listed and actually crazy prices, so it's hard to follow up with this flow. Okay, we can go ahead and do some exercise. We can do some exercise. We can go for Asians and try to identify what kind of like a traits may be more expensive, less expensive. Let's do that. I think it's gonna be fun because I have no idea. I was not following. I was just like FOMOing. Oh, I like it. Let's buy it. It's so cute. Let's go. Now we can go through trades and try to understand in depth what's going on and what to buy. Okay, before I do that, I'm gonna read just comments to comment and then we go. Pleasure DAO. Let's go. Do you think that next narrative is game, metaverse, NFT? I do think gaming is big. About metaverse, we yet to figure out how it's going to be used because like while COVID and this virus stuff like pushed everyone online, it's still a lot of problems. People still want to like hang out and do things. So I see a lot of physical galleries and I know a lot of projects have metaverse, but like only top projects are actually really using it as a value, like providing value through metaverse. Majority there's like, okay, we have metaverse, let's go, but they don't really know how to use it and what's the purpose. The knowledge of the project is still kind of evolving, so hard to say. I think I would say I'm more bullish on gaming than on metaverse yet. This is my opinion. Okay, let's go. So we're exploring trades of Asians, and Asians floor is around 0.23 ETH was, and average price recently was 0.18, so they're kind of growing back and forth. And we can go one by one. My guesses, okay, we can go and check trades on the left. And now I will go just with my guesses, how I think people may define the value for this. Because I saw the collection, but I don't know. First of all, I would assume it can be skin color. But I think I was wrong. Actually, yes, there is you see, there is a golden one with this, and we're gonna, I think, least count, highest floor. We will do this. Skin color. Golden one with a collection floor of 0.2. 0.88 is not a huge like leap. So skin color, I don't think it makes so much difference. Obviously, the higher price will grow, the more people will define it. But right now, it seems like not really. Does not define the price. Tattoo. Also, the rarity may be the case, but now I don't see huge of a difference there. Hairstyle. Wow, that's a lot. That's a lot. Floor price. Actually, you can clearly see. Here we go. They created a collection of rare tools, which is like a service NFT. So service NFT is like when it has no trades, it's just like on itself. It shows as none all the trades, but it looks like it has a lot of trades. And all of this is one-to-one unique pieces, which probably cost tons of money. And people who got them, they did some crazy good kind of valuations. Looks quite cool, I think. Yeah, I mean this is quite early stage, so it's hard to say. Even though I said at the beginning that probably traits of a background of skin doesn't make much difference, but it seems like most of traits people just like list for very close to the floor, so it's very hard to identify what is a valuable asset. So another thing you can do, you can just go ahead and go into view collection, for example, go buy now and say, okay, my budget is up to 0.5 Ethereum, and then you list it by rarity. And this is how rarity tools define rarity. You know, this is number, it's a number of collection. This is how rare it is out of 10,000 items. So this item for the floor 0.5 Ethereum, this is the rarest you can get, 316, which is quite rare, but not so much. Usually people in their mind, they think about like top 1%, top 10%, top 30%, and then everything else. So I would say so. So if I would buy right now, I'll probably will look into combination of aesthetic look plus rarity. So let's say we can narrow down. Let's say my budget is even lower. My budget is like 0.35. Actually, this one is not so bad. This very first one, I think it looks quite unique. It's quite rare. It's 316 ranking in 10,000, and it's 0.34, and the floor price is 0.24. So it's like only 0.1 higher than floor price, but it's already like top 10% asset. So I think this would be quite nice item to buy if you would want to commit to long term and flip this item like longer. So another thing is people buy long-term more rare items because it's less hassle with holding it, and then when you sell it you can make more profit. You know, people who hold right now for long-term Bored Apes, those who have like golden apes, they can sell it for 600 ETH. It's quite a lot of money. Yeah, let me check. Volatility, super liquid. Yeah, I mean, it's like you have collections which you can see that they're like jumping around like crazy. It's very high volatility. This means that you have collection which tomorrow is going to be 20 ETH and the day after is going to be 5 ETH because people are keep selling, buying. So it's not very stable. For collections with a good history, blue chips, usually it's not the case actually. The same applies to cryptocurrency again, right? It's like shit coins, usually they are more even more risky, so they jump around more often than stable coins. Not stable coins, than top cryptocurrencies like Ethereum, Bitcoin. So it's the same thing. It's like a fiat currency, super regulated, like more stable and still kind of jumping around. Then it's Bitcoin, Ethereum, Sol, and then all the shit coins below. I hope I didn't offend any of shit coins by saying they're shit coins. Yes, USD. People still think in USD, but I would assure you that most of people who trade NFTs, they are not so much into comparing it to dollars because like it's jumping around, and I think I at least think in categories of Ethereum and Sol. I don't think in categories of USD. Not so much because like we were buying ETH and Sol at the very different stages. So if you just think right now about ETH and you hold a lot of assets and you bought it when it was $400, like it's very hard to understand what's your actually profit if you compare it in that matter. Then you would like just by selling anything at floor price you can already profit because oh wow, because you bought Ethereum itself by $400, so it doesn't make much sense. I think a lot of OGs, people who trade a lot, they actually don't think in the categories of USD. Only when they cash out, but like usually not that many are like cash out so much of cryptocurrency. Yes, people go with what has value to them. That's true. Okay, that's about Asians. We checked a little bit trade system. Okay, why I want to tell you to be careful with this with this website, because they have these upcoming drops, and there is sometimes, quite often, they don't validate properly collections, and there is a lot of scam. I'm like, I tell you 100%. There are rug pulls and scam. So I would say do your research, and like websites which list on some kind of these upcoming projects is quite usually, it's always paid. I wouldn't be afraid to say it's always paid and promoted. So do your research, try to check on Twitter and see how is it going there. And I would assume that, yeah, you guys, whoever doesn't have Twitter, you're like missing out. Twitter is #1 thing you should have, like it's must. Twitter and Discord. Okay, let's go. Any more questions? Any more questions? Who wants me to show anything? Because if no, I'm gonna wrap up in 10 minutes and I'm gonna go and work out. What to follow? Follow what you like, follow what you want to buy. I usually, okay, when I got into Twitter, my very first advice was, it was not my advice, sorry, it's like, I was like, oh, who is legit? And then I just went to Twitter and I started to check. I went to, I saw this crazy Bored Ape Yacht Club. They were all around. They were still quite cheap. I think I got when they were still 5 Ethereum floor price. And then I bought them even later when it was 13 Ethereum. But I could see that people who are Bored Ape, usually who have like a legit Bored Ape, they were posting quite interesting content. They usually had like some followings here and there. Of course, now the market is more saturated. You need to make sure that, you know, they're verified apes and it's not a scam, and also check their tweets. But in general, I would like go and follow all the apes I see and try to unfollow everyone who is not posting comments, tweets, and everyone who is not providing me value. That was my strategy, and I still follow that. And the same I do, for example, I see the collection which is quite expensive, Solana Business Monkeys, right? And then I go and follow Solana Business Monkeys because I see people, the profile of people who buy it looks quite legit. They post quite nice content, and sometimes it's technical, but it helps me to understand better the space. And those who are changing too much their profile pictures, it depends. It depends. You want to hear and see people who are not giveaway boys, who do not just share giveaways, they actually create some value, and you want to follow them and hear them and also interact with them. Go and check tweets. I really recommend this guy. I liked him a lot. I don't follow him. Okay, something happened. Sorry. Probably something happened if I'm not following him anymore. But he follows me. Quite interesting. Did I get into fight with this dude? Because I think I have the same with Gary V. He follows me, but I got a bit upset. Oh no, I still follow him. Anyways, yeah, this guy you can follow, but I didn't like his move with the books. It was rude marketing, in my opinion. What else? What's your thought on Hey Beast? Hey Beast, let me check. I was not into this project, and funny enough, but you can't be everywhere, right? First of all, I'm not a huge fan of their art, and I would say that was like a 50% why I didn't get into it. And like it was so hyped that I don't like, you know, I don't like projects which are like great from the beginning. Like they're super hyped and they're insanely popular already. And the reason for that, look, they even have broken Instagram. Very good, nice. The reason for that is because it's simply very difficult to wait a second. I think it's scam, no? What's going on? Look, weird. Or they didn't update their website. What's going on? It's very high expectations, and people buy and they pump the price, and then it's not like a natural growth of the price. Then it's very difficult to provide the value to this pumped price, you know? It's like already the whole market is super exaggerated with their prices. So like when you launch on the first day you have 8 ETH. I think it's going to be the same history like with Mechaverse. I didn't get into the project because of the same reason. It was so hyped. There was so many bots on Discord that I was like, I'm not sure they're gonna keep up with the price. And like now, I don't even follow them. I don't know what's going on. I want to organic growth. You know, I know very well marketing. I work with some folks, and we know how it works. So when I see Discord with 200k, guys, it's like good quality people. They maintenance audience. It's a lot of work and a lot of money. If you have 200k, like you better have like a lot of emojis, a lot of reaction. And first of all, how in the universe you're gonna keep up your engagement? If you have 200k, you need to spread them between channels. It's a lot of work. You need to have a huge team to manage that. So that's why. Serial Club. Hey, this looks like a cash grab. OpenSea hasn't updated their social. Okay. Let's see. I think I follow these guys, and I think they're cute. I don't think it's my thing. So like, again, you need always to know how much liquid you have and how much you wanna like invest. This looks like a copycat of Doodles for me, and I also don't like copycats, but this kind of interesting. I think I saw founders and I was studying them a little bit. Website looks cool. I didn't get into Discord. Go into Discord and check. You see, study, guys. Again, it's like you need to study. You need to get as early as you can, and you need to know what kind of projects you are invested in. Right now, my focus in Solana and specifically on gaming. That's what I'm doing. Like, if I have spare ETH, I would definitely like go in and just do something. But right now, I don't have so huge liquid, so I don't jump in every single project because there are too many. This is just my approach. So, and especially those projects which already have hype, like 150k. Like, you need to have a lot of time to compete for these assets. You need to probably do some quiz, get some whitelist. It's a lot of work to do that. Let's go. What's there? Squiggles. Squiggles. Oh my gosh, 230k. Yeah. I mean, that's kind of project I'm talking about. You want to get very good profit, you need to get early. I feel like, I don't know who are these people. And you want to see something unique, I guess. I'm not saying this is not going to be successful. I'm saying, like, for me, it will be difficult to return my investments if I'm going to FOMO in on the floor price of 1 Ethereum. I want to see the floor of 50 Ethereum without much of a thinking. What else? What else do you guys want to check? What we can do also. There is also Tezos NFTs as well. Oh yeah, Squiggles went under me. That's the reality. There is also Tezos NFTs, and Tezos NFTs, they usually sell a lot of one-to-one art. I personally not much invested into that, so I can't comment. But you also can check it out. Guys, let's probably stop with the suggestion of collections because it will take time for me to study. You can ask me questions about dynamics or any technical stuff. Please go ahead, and I'm gonna wrap up in 5 minutes. So you can ask me about anything related to trading, what is maybe confusing for you, and I'm gonna try to answer, because actually studying part and like reviewing, it should be straightforward, and I would assume many of you are maybe even more experienced than myself, because I just do high level like bird's view on collection. I just buy a little bit and then I return my principals and keep building. My pleasure, absolutely. So I can do more of these sessions if you guys will come up with some kind of questions, maybe, and I can create agenda to be more structured. I can also do some audio, background music, so it's going to be a bit more fun to listen. And I can bring some guests as well who can probably comment on some collections, some artists or some developers. It's going to be quite fun. Okay, I'm gonna review this stuff because someone is asking, and I haven't seen him yet here. I don't even know what's this, but let me review, and then it's gonna be last versus dynamics. Is it Ethereum or no? I don't know. What is this? I have no idea, bro. Is it even a collection? What is diverses? I have no idea. Diverse NFT artist. I need a link. I have no idea. What's that? Okay, no props. Good gaming project. Yeah, in Sol, I'm invested in long term, but also, of course, I try to return principals. That's my idea. It's like I always want to hold some liquidity, and with this liquidity, I play, but I don't invest much on top of that. I try to keep in the long term stuff, but I also try to jump in something very early if it's possible, and try to get rares one, because one of the huge things you can do even on bad projects is to participate into mint very beginning, and then when you mint there is uncover and you can get very rare items, and then there are people who are scooping the floor of rare items. So let me show you example of that, and we can finish on that. Let me go to OpenSea. That's what I was doing with Crypto Schools, one of the collections which was uncovered recently. Crypto Schools. And what I was doing, like when it was growing, instead of buying the floor price, I just went and got into more like rare items, and I bought these items at the like not floor price, but a little more expensive. Mine was 0.8 Ethereum, and now the floor is like, you see, the floor is very high. And this is a strategy what you can also take. Instead of buying just floor and flipping the floor, you can go and buy more rare ones. And then these rare ones, let's say if you was the one who minted it at the beginning, you can actually list it for higher price, because these people who will be buying rare items, they will be trying to hunt for these rare items because they could not participate into mints. So that's the idea behind it. Floor hunting and also rare hunting. I did the same thing with Stoner Cats, even though Stoner Cats is a failed kind of collection. I would think so. They didn't deliver much. Now it's below mint price was 0.3, and now the floor is 0.27. But back in days, I minted rare one, and then I sold it straight ahead for 6 Ethereum, and I was just lucky to get a rare one, right? So I wasn't much of you know, and I sold it on the peak. I sold it when everyone was a bit in the FOMO syndrome, and then I hold the rest. I still hold some Stoner Cats, but because I already returned a lot of profit, I kind of don't care what's happened with the rest. Maybe one day Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis gonna come and do something else with the Stoner Cats, and then the price will go up. Now I'm emotionally detached completely from the collection because I already profited a lot on this, but I don't see them much here and there. So that's the case. Okie dokie. Thanks a lot, everyone. I will try to set up all the stuff, and see you next time. Maybe tomorrow or whenever you guys want me to go live. I hope you enjoyed, and prepare some more questions. And who is not on my Telegram group, please send me DM or comment under this video, and I'm gonna invite you and we can discuss there. And have a wonderful day, everyone. Cheers.